We're going to start today's practice seated on the mat. So as you get settled, maybe shift your hips a little bit from side to side so that you can ground down evenly through both sitting bones. Begin to bring your heart over your hips, head over your heart. And as you find this nice, tall, upright spine, if you're feeling discomfort, especially in your low back or your hips, I invite you to grab a lift. It could be a stack of blankets, couch cushions, pillows, anything that brings your hips up a little bit higher than those knees is going to allow you to sit a bit more comfortably. As you get settled, we'll bring our awareness a little further up the body, maybe to our shoulders. Allow them to slide down the back body. Relax down away from your ears. Maybe bring that awareness up into the mind space. And if you're feeling a lot of thoughts going on, maybe we're reflecting on things that happened earlier, or we're running through our to-do list of things we're going to do after this class, I invite you to send those thoughts away. Maybe invite them in long enough to acknowledge them, and then ask them to leave. This time is for you. Enjoy it. Maybe bring your awareness a little bit deeper into your breath, not necessarily trying to change anything about your inhales or exhales, but sometimes when we just start to bring awareness and shut out some of those intrusive thoughts, our breath tends to lengthen, tends to deepen. Maybe it becomes a little bit slower, allowing you to arrive in your practice today. You take a couple more cycles of inhales and exhales. And then we're going to start syncing that breath to movement in the form of torso circles. So on your inhales, we're going to be sending our torso out and forward, really reaching forward through that heart space, almost like you're coming into a seated cow. And then exhale, we're going to send it back, allowing those shoulder blades to pull away from one another, almost like a seated cat. And then keep moving at the pace of your breath. As your circles get bigger, maybe you even rock up off of that outer hip, allowing your shoulder a little bit more kind of movement in the space of your room. Try to stay aware of that breath and allow your inhales to send you forward and your exhales to send you backward, instead of just happening to breathe in as you move forward. Give your breath a little bit more control, at least for this short amount of time that we'll be together on the mat today. From here, change the circle, or change the direction, rather, of your circles. Again, notice those hips. It's okay if the other one kind of pops up. We're really trying to get a little bit of opening through our upper back. So take what feels good. You can almost imagine your shoulders kind of hitting every corner of the room as you go around. At least that's what helps me. We'll take one more circle here. At the end of your exhale, come back up to your comfortable seat. Then we're going to flip it over onto our hands and knees. As you arrive on your knees, bring your knees to touch, toe mounds to touch, tuck your toes, and we're going to send our weight back, maybe reaching back to tuck those pinky toes if they don't tuck on their own. Sometimes they don't. A lot of times they don't for me. Now, if you're already feeling a lot of sensation right here, walk your hands forward, bringing the weight out of your heels. If you can, I invite you to walk your hands up your thighs, bringing your weight fully over those heels. And for those of you who don't incorporate this stretch very often in your yoga practice or just in your daily stretches, daily routine, this might feel like a lot of sensation in the bottom of your feet. And so what we're targeting is that line of fascia that runs through our body. Starts and ends, depending on which way you're looking at it, down here in our feet, our plantar fascia. Maybe rock a little bit very gently from side to side if that feels good. We'll be here for just a few more breaths. Remember, you can always walk forward. But if you're able to sit up here, I invite you to embrace that little bit of discomfort. Take one more full inhale. You got this. Exhale, slowly walk your hands down. We're not untucking those toes quite yet. Once you come into a nice neutral tabletop, very slowly begin to come up onto the tips of your toes. And then exhale, allow the top of your foot to drop down to the mat. Maybe you stay here, maybe you kind of tap the tops of your feet on the mat. If you want to take a counter stretch, this is a great opportunity to do a counter stretch. Walk those hands back. Again, you can bring your full weight over your heels. You could even do a little bit more. You can walk your hands behind you. Maybe lift your knees. Today we're going to do a little bit of balance work. So if you'd like to start here, you could bring your hands to your heart center. Maybe take a little bit of practice, getting our mind to slow down so that we can kind of hold a balancing position. One more full breath in. Exhale, release. From here, we're going to come into hero's pose. It's very similar to the pose we were just in. We're going to allow our heels to fall a little bit more to the side so that it creates a little cup or seat for our hips. For many bodies, this is not comfortable in our thighs. It's not comfortable in our knees. And if that's the case, I invite you to grab something to sit on. You can grab a yoga block, again, pillows, cushions, whatever you used earlier. Stack it as high as you need, and that might feel a little better. This is hero's pose. We're just gonna get settled for a moment, getting a little bit of stretching to the lining of our legs. And then from here, we're gonna walk those hands forward so that they're planted on the ground in front of us. And we're gonna come into some kind of mini cat-cows. So on your inhale, send your heart space forward, roll your shoulders back. This is our seated cow. And then exhale, round through that back body, press into the mat to press away, really pulling those shoulder blades away from each other. This is our seated cat. And then move with your breath. Inhale to your seated cow. Exhale to your seated cat. Inhales, we're opening up, broadening between the collarbones. And our exhales, we're really trying to stretch into that upper back space. Take a couple more cycles here. Still syncing our breath with our movement. From here, we're going to come all the way forward into our hands and knees. And so I invite you to scooch this lift maybe up to where your hands are. We're going to come into a low lunge. So if you want some type of a lift, you're welcome to use your blocks, maybe a stack of books, or position your mat kind of by a low coffee table or bench. We're going to start with our right foot forward. And as you get settled, sink those hips forward and down. Try to imagine keeping this tall spine. So if you're noticing that you're starting to kind of hunch over a bit, no worries. Just come out of the stretch somewhat. And as you're sinking, notice if it's an active or a passive feeling. And what I mean by that is, are you forcing that hip down? In which case, I'd invite you to reframe kind of how you're entering this pose. So maybe instead of forcing or pressing, imagine embracing gravity and relaxing those muscles and easing deeper into the posture. That's easier said than done, especially in postures where you feel a lot of tension. So practice with me today. Try easing into these postures. Release tension from any part of the body that you do not need to be holding it. Release tension from the glutes, from the hamstrings, from the low back. And then as you're ready, tuck those back toes. Press on up into a low runner's lunge. So heel, your left heel's over your left toe mound, strong and straight back leg. We're gonna build a little heat to prepare us for our balance work. We're also gonna hug our thighs towards each other. And not only because that's gonna bring a little extra heat to our body, but also it's gonna square our hips towards the front of the room, which is the position that we want to maintain when we're doing our standing balance work, because we really wanna focus on our hip stabilizers. So one more nice breath in. Exhale, shift your weight into your right foot. And then inhale, slowly step or drag and keep on cruising all the way up to standing staff. Left thighs parallel with the earth. And imagine grounding down so much through that right foot that you can lift up off of your waist with lightness. Nice light upper body. Gaze is forward. One more breath in. And exhale, slowly drop that left foot. And as you do, we're gonna keep on going all the way down to chair pose, Utkatasana. And as you do, imagine reaching your tailbone towards your heels to bring a little length into the low back and also to bring your weight back into your heels. Peek down, make sure you can see your big toes. Try to stay open through your chest, your collarbone. And then inhale, rise back up to standing staff. And exhale, twist, open to the left. So we're trying to imagine our sternum or our breastbone reaching towards the left side wall. One more full breath in and out. Inhale, back to standing staff. And exhale, slowly step it back, low lunge. You can drop that back foot. We're gonna come into a twist. So back toes can stay tucked or untucked. Plant your left hand. Inhale, open up. So same idea as we had before with our twist. We're trying to shine that sternum so that it's pointing towards the right side wall. Gaze can look up past your right fingertips. Exhale, release, and we're gonna step it on back to hands and knees. Take it to the other side. So left foot comes forward, and again, allow gravity to help you. You don't have to force your way into as many poses as you think, even though sometimes it feels like that's the only way we're gonna get there, right? See if you can relax every muscle that enables you to kind of settle in to the posture that you're looking to achieve. So that's going to require using your breath to help you. It's going to require quieting the mind, right? Getting rid of any distractions. Allowing you to bring your full awareness to your body. Take one more breath in. And then we'll tuck those back toes, press firmly into your feet. Inhale, rise on up to this low runner's lunge. And I guess nice tall spine. Imagine you're just gonna like take off. So your back heel is lifted on top of your toe mound. We're not leaning back here. Very strong, hugging those thighs together. Build that heat, square those hips. And then on your next exhale, shift your weight into your left foot. And inhale, step or drag, lift your right foot all the way up, standing staff. Again, we're gonna pause here for just a few breaths. Getting stable, maybe bring your hands to your hips. Feel that they're square. Don't forget to breathe. One more breath in. And exhale, lower that right foot and those hips all the way down to chair pose. See if you can sink a little bit lower. But if you notice that as you sink, we're just kind of like sticking our butt out, no worries. Just see if you can find a little bit of length through that low back. Imagine kind of that idea of tucking your tailbone, but we're not tucking it under. We're just finding some length, keeping that chest open. And then inhale, rise back up, right foot lifts. And exhale, twist to the right this time. So same idea, if there was a light kind of sticking on the front of your chest, imagine trying to shine it to the right wall. And now I know it's very hard. Most of us probably won't get there. I'm not getting there, but that's the intention. Inhale back to standing staff. And exhale slowly with control. Step it on back. Drop that back knee. And inhale, open up into your twist. Gaze can be up past those fingertips, but if that's uncomfortable, gaze can be down at the ground too. Find what feels good in your neck, what feels good in your body. And then exhale, unwind, step it on back to hands and knees. Now, if you want, while I chat with you for a minute, you can make your way to child's pose and hang out for a few. As we go into the next couple cycles, we're going to be moving a little bit faster, matching our breath with our movement. So each inhale is going to align with the next step of our flow or of our sequence. And so what I want you to do is really focus on your breath. It might not match perfectly with mine, and that's okay. We'll pause for a breath or two back in our hands and knees so that we can all meet up, same time, same place. Now you also have one other option in these next two cycles. As we transition from standing staff to chair, you can stick with that transition. You could also attempt standing figure four, and that's what I'll demonstrate for you guys so you can see it. But again, chair pose is a very worthy option if you choose to stay with that. And if chair pose is feeling really difficult in your body today, you can also just take a break and come to standing, or hold that staff position and really work on engaging your core and working on those hip stabilizers. So lots of options. Choose the ones that feel best for you. So come up from child's pose if you took that nice quick rest. And from hands and knees, let's begin to step that right foot forward. We'll always take a breath or two in this stage just so that we can get situated, get our hips squared, and make sure that we're moving through this by starting off as safely and as securely as we can. So get situated. And then as you're ready, tuck those back toes. Inhale, rise to low runner's lunge. Exhale, shift your weight forward. Inhale, rise to standing staff. Exhale, chair or standing figure four. Inhale, standing staff. Exhale, twist open to the left. Inhale, rise back to center. Exhale, shift that weight back slowly and controlly, step it down. And inhale, open up to the left or the right side wall. Exhale, release, come back to hands and knees. We'll take a couple breaths. Take any movement that feels good, any shoulder movement, any hip movement. Then we'll take it to the other side. Again, take that breath or two to get set up. Make sure that you feel good, you feel secure and confident before we start the flow on this side. So once you're situated, take a full breath in. Exhale, tuck those back toes. Press into your feet. Inhale, rise to a low runner's lunge. Exhale, shift that weight forward. Inhale, step, drag all the way to rise to standing staff. Wobbling's okay. And then exhale, chair or standing figure four. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, hold this, but add the twist. Inhale, rise. And exhale with control, step it on back to your low lunge, drop your knee. Inhale, open up to the left. Exhale, release. We'll take hands and knees for a couple breaths. Again, take any movement that feels good, maybe even some cat-cows. And we'll go through one more time on each side. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Exhale, settle in. Tuck that back toe. Inhale, rise to runner's lunge. Exhale, shift your weight forward. Inhale, rise to standing staff. Exhale, lower to chair or figure four. Inhale, rise, standing staff. Exhale, twist to the left, maybe smile. Inhale, back to the front. Exhale, step it on back, lower the back knee. Inhale, twist. Exhale, release, step it back to hands and knees. Take a breath, maybe take another. And then step that left foot forward. Exhale, settle in. Tuck those back toes. Inhale, rise to runner's lunge. Exhale, shift the weight forward. Inhale, rise all the way to standing staff. Exhale, chair, maybe standing figure four. Maybe, maybe not. Inhale to staff. Exhale, twist open to your right. Inhale, back to staff. And exhale, step it on back. Drop that back knee. Inhale, open up to the left. And exhale, release. We're gonna step through just to come to a comfortable seat and take that comfortable seat all the way onto our back body. So I'm gonna let you slowly lower down, however it feels most comfortable. Ground your shoulder blades, ground that low back if possible, and then walk your feet up towards your sitting bones. Cross your right ankle at the base of your left thigh. So we're coming into a supine or reclined figure four. You have some options. You can stay here, allowing or gently encouraging that right knee to fall away from the body. Or you can grab the back of your hamstring or reach around and grab the front of your shin, pulling that thigh towards your body. Whatever variation you're choosing, we're flexing that right knee kind of at a 90-degree angle so that we not only protect our right knee, but we're also keeping the sensation in that outer hip. We haven't done much hamstring work today, so if you're looking for a hamstring stretch, you could always kind of grab the back of your left thigh and reach the bottom of the left foot up towards the sky. In whatever position you choose, maybe you add some ankle rolls, point and flex through your toes. And then we'll exhale the left foot down and then allow the right foot to fall to the side, cactusing your arms at 90 degrees. So we're gonna settle here into this twist. You can stay here if this feels good. If your right shoulder is grounded pretty solidly and you're looking for a little more sensation, you can always cross that right leg over the left and allow both knees to fall to the side. Feel free to grab any of the lifts that you used today to place them under this bottom leg. Sometimes that can feel like a nice support if your knees aren't able to reach the ground without, your shoulder popping up. Inhale, rise back to that neutral spine. Take a moment here to let that spine reset. And we'll take it to the other side. So take whatever version of that figure four feels best. Just remember to keep that ankle flexed to protect your knee. You can grab your hamstring. You can grab your shin. You can take that hamstring stretch. And then maybe add those ankle rolls. Our feet and our ankles are two things that take a lot of stress during the day, and especially when we're doing balancing postures, we're really grounding down and using our ankle for stability. There are also two parts of the body that we rarely stretch. And so hopefully this class gave you some ideas that you can incorporate into your day-to-day to give a little love to your whole body, not just our hamstrings and quads and, hips, our go-to stretches. From here, release that right foot, cactus the arms out, or make our way into the spinal twist that you prefer. So maybe we're just dropping the whole figure four over to the right, or maybe we're crossing the left leg over the right. Maybe notice your breath again. See if you can feel it slow down, lengthen, deepen. As our body starts to slow down from all of the balance work that we did. Inhale, rise back up. Square those hips, and I invite you to take a full body stretch. So arms overhead, legs overhead, full breath in. Exhale, maybe walk, get your lift out of the way. Walk your feet and your arms over to the left for a nice side body stretch. Inhale back to center, maybe take it to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hug your knees to your chest. Maybe even bring your head up, crunching your forehead towards your knees. Really get a nice stretch through that entire back body. And then release those feet down and make your way to the Shavasana of your choice, unless you'd like to take any other postures before you head that way. Thank you so much for joining this practice with me today. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.